In this video, we will talk about the heart atrium. Class, before jumping into topic, I am going to ask a question that, what is atrium?
Ma'am, the atria are the two upper chambers. And in our previous video, we have discussed that. Right atrium is a chamber in a heart that receives deoxygenated blood from the body. And left atrium is a chamber in a heart that receives oxygenated blood from the pulmonary system.
Yes, future doctors. Now, moving forward. As we have discussed that, these are primitive atria that are going to be left and right atria in future.
But ma'am, atria cannot be separated through cleavage.
Yes, medical class. This is endocardial cushion. So, new tissue forms in the roof of the primitive atrium. This thin, curved septum is the septum primum. This septum primum extends down from the roof, growing towards the endocardial cushion. Now, you can see the gap. So the gap remaining inferior to the septum primum is the ostium primum.
Ma'am, as this gap is developed due to septum primum, that's why the name of the gap is ostium primum, as it is derived from septum primum, and ostium means gap.
Yes, you are right. Now, this septum primum extends down from the roof, growing towards the endocardial cushion, and meet the endocardial cushion. Now again, there is a gap develop here. As this gap occurs after formation of ostium primum, so it is called as ostium secundum. Class, ostium means the gap. Now, a second ridge of tissue grows from the roof of the atrium. As you can see, this second ridge of tissue grows on the right side of the septum primum. This is called the septum secundum.
Ma'am, it is called septum secundum because it occurs after septum primum.
Yes, Ryan. Now, septum secundum grows towards the endocardial cushions, but stops short. Now class, pay attention. Hole and flap of the septum primum against septum secundum form a one-way valve, allowing blood to shunt from the right atrium to the left, but not in reverse. This is the foramen ovale. Now you can see this is right atrium, and this is left atrium.
Ma'am, I need to ask that. You are using two terms, atria and atrium. Are they same?
Atria and atrium aren't exactly the same, although they refer to the same anatomical structure. The difference is that the word atrium is the singular form of the structure, and atria is the plural form. An atrium is a chamber in a heart that receives blood either from the body or from the pulmonary system.
Ma'am, I have understood all the steps. Can I help my class fellows to understand it in easier way?
Yes, sure.
Consider that this is a house. Within this house, I need to build 2 rooms. I build a wall up to this point. This is called as septum primum, as it separates 2 rooms. And I have left a gap. This gap is called as ostium primum. Now, I decided to build a wall of full length. So I add more bricks. And I build full-length wall. Now I decide to build a window in it. This window is called as ostium secundum. I decide to build one more wall to cover that window. That was named as ostium secundum. Now this half-length wall is called as septum secundum. Now, I can move from right room by passing the space between septum secundum and ostium secundum to enter left room. This is called as foramen ovale.
Very good, Harry. You explained it very well. So, class, we have discussed that. How right and left atrium are formed. But before ending this video, let me explain one more important point. And foramen ovale, one of the roots that exist before birth, allowing blood circulation to circumvent the developing lungs. But a change in pressure between atria at birth holds the septum primum closed against the septum secundum, and the foramen becomes permanently sealed. In our
Ma'am, I need to ask a question. Why the blood is not moving from right atrium to right ventricle in developing baby? Instead, blood is directly entering from right atrium to left atrium in developing baby.
Well, that is very interesting question. It means you are paying attention. So, the answer is that after birth, deoxygenated blood enters from right atrium to right ventricle to lungs for oxygenation. But in baby with developing heart, blood do not enter from right atrium to right ventricle because developing heart receive oxygenated blood instead of deoxygenated blood from placenta. That's why blood enters from right atrium to left atrium directly. So, this was all. In our next video we will talk about the ventricle of heart.
From medical students to seasoned professionals, sqadia.com offers engaging and dynamic content for your educational journey.